Okay, so if you watched the hyper video prior to this one, you'd see we were setting up the car on the pitch wheel clamps, and we removed all the ramps and decking. Just want you to be aware that you don't have to do that if it's doing a light hit. You can put the car up on the pitch wheel clamps, leave the decking there, and just do some measuring with the Nausea electronic measuring system, and make sure your determination from there what you need to do.
Okay, Greg, so I went over to the Chameleon cabinet and picked up a bunch of pieces that I think are going to work for this. I did a little bit of checking and some test fitting, but I think maybe you need to put a little bit more insight into what each of them do and how we're going to apply them.
Okay, well basically, when you're using the Chameleon, you know you have to have the bench, obviously. You have to have a cross member bolted down to the bench, somewhat close to the point that you're trying to build a jig for. Sean's going to take his adjustable sliding block here and bolt it to the cross member where he thinks it might be widthwise. Okay, and I believe he's going to pick number 6 in width because it's pretty much directly underneath the pile hole that we're aiming for. And so once he gets that bolted up there, then we're going to take, we just need to fill the space between the pile hole and the base and the bench cross member. So we believe we're going to have a configuration with one of these MD plus pistons. That this is a 160. I don't know which hole he's going to use, but we have hole 1, hole 2.
I think we went B.
So he's going to adjust this once he gets it into the car. Okay. And he's going to, I'll let Sean put it together, but he's got a UP plate called a universal plate, 01. He's using a TFHC countersinking screw to hold it on. He's going to use what they call an AD adapter. The AD adapter in this case is 35 millimeters high. So it's going to bring it up 35 millimeters off the plate. And you think, okay, how are you going to fill that space exactly? Well, we have an adjustable top here that gives us a Z height. So we have 15 millimeters to play in here. We can move these pilot holes up and down, or drill holes for the pin. And we should be able to get any our adjustment in here. We have 15 millimeters to play with. So between the two combinations, we should be able to fit it. So the best way to do it is screw it all the way down, take it up to the car, and let that float. And this is the direction he wants. I would just take it up, put it in the car. We're leaving the sliding block loose. Okay, you had it turned the other direction, the base. There you go, just like that. There you go, that's good. No, no, no. Which way did you have it?
We had it set up. Yeah,
Right there. Right there. Okay. So in this case, we've got it facing the inside. There's an arrow right here, the orientation mark, that tells us that the mark is on the outside, pointing in. Put a couple bolts in it to hold it to the base. Slide it around until you find the hole, pilot hole, slip the pin in there, and then make your final adjustment on the top and bring it up to the car body. Now it's good and tight, right? Now the car can't move anywhere, width or length, right? Additional holding to the superior silk clamps that we have. Okay, so you do that all the way around the back here. You do one on the other side if you like, right? Then you add one to the front. You want to make sure everything's tight. Alrighty then. Good job.
Okay, so in that last segment, Greg went over in great detail the measurement and the specifications. He also pointed out that the 4 reference points we used to center the car included 2 points where we've decided as additional holding points to stop the car from moving during a sway pull, we're going to add 2 fixtures back here, and then we're going to go up to the front and add an additional fixture there. Greg, you want to add anything?
Well, yeah, no, not necessarily, but you know, Sean's correct. We're going to add, he wants to build some additional holding, and what that does is reduce the pressure on all parts that we're putting in. So in other words, it's going to lessen the pressure on the sill clamps. It's going to spread out the load. Okay, so it takes less pressure to make the pull and correct it.
Okay, great. Let's get started.
Okay. Okay, so that took Sean probably 3 or 4 minutes to find the parts out of the box just by doing a guesstimate. And the total build time was 4 minutes and 11 seconds, and that included us discussing it with you folks. So you figure that time, don't tell insurance company. But you know you can do this pretty dang quickly, folks. You know, if you're interested in Celette products, I suggest you call your closest distributor. Our prices are well within bounds of the competition, and as you've seen throughout our videos this week, we can do the job quicker and more accurately than what you're probably currently using. Thank you.
Hey Greg, so I've got this last jig set up here. As you can see, well, maybe you can't quite see it, but I put a diagnostic cup where I've gone over the bolt head. But I found these parts in the kit here. Maybe you could tell us a little bit about what the Celette screw and the application will be for.
Okay, so in the diagnostic setup that Sean has right now, this is just a cup that's covering the bolt head, and it's holding everything in place, all right? But if I really need to make a pull, a higher pressure pull, and I'm worried about this popping off of there, like coming off the clamp, I can always switch the top piece. If you can see this, I can take this socket. This is called a UV15. Why is it called a UV15? Because it takes a 14mm bolt to pass through it. Okay, so I can switch the top, take the bolt out, put this in there, and then I can bolt this jig to the car with this bolt and just tighten up the nut. Now that's locked down to the bench. It can't move, it can't come off, it can't be taken out of place by any means.
So when you're getting into those higher damage pulls or higher required of tonnage in terms of pulling, locking the car down is going to isolate the vehicle even more from shifting, and particularly, as Greg said earlier in our series, not damaging the vehicle by pulling on the sill clamps.
Right. The more places you can hold, the less power it takes to pull out a damage.
Hey, hello again. So we've reached the end of the day. Our series of videos is complete. We've got the vehicle completely up on sill clamps. We've done some measuring. We've put a number of jigs in. We've described the pulling process. So I want to take this time to thank Celette USA, and particularly Greg Fritz, the technical manager, for all the assistance on today's and letting me come down and spend some time showing this process. Particularly for light to medium damage, you can scale it up or down. Anyways, I'd like to turn it over to Greg for any final comments.
Well, we'd just like to see you people give us a look over. You know, Celette's been in business since 1953, and we've got the best equipment in the world. Everybody has a misnomer thinking that you have to jig every car, and that's not true. You know, you don't want to jig a light damaged car, right? So we have electronic measuring systems. We have the drive-on frame machine that you're not familiar with. We have 3 different models, as a matter of fact, or 4. So give us a look, and I appreciate you, Sean, coming down here to work with us on this project. I think it's important for your market as well as ours, and let's hope that it works out. And people, if you enjoy these videos, don't forget, we would love to have your comments. Send us your comments. We need to know what you're thinking. And if you need any pricing, you know what to do. www.celette.com. Thank you very much.
Thank you.